This is Recipe for Sleep, a podcast where we dust off very old cookbooks and let them lull us into dreamland. I'm Erin Brindley, a chef and storyteller. Tonight I'm going to read to you softly and sweetly from A Book of Beverages, being recipes secured from those housewives most notable for their skill in the preparation of choice and delectable beverages for winter nights and summer noons. Compiled by the Timothy Bigelow chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution in 1904, this book is simply a few dozen recipes for punches, flips, lemonades, cordials, switchels, and more. It seemed right for this time of year, something refreshing and simple. What I find about reading these old cookbooks at their best is how comfortable people were making things at home that we will only dream of buying at the store in a bottle, like ginger ale or orgeat. Imagining a cool cellar filled with fermenting wines and fruit vinegars, and crystal punch bowls filled with fruits and potions lights up my imagination. Hopefully it will be a sweet place for you to rest your busy brain tonight as you drift off to sleep. Now it's time to put away anything you were doing and snuggle deep into your sweet covers. Softly close your eyes and imagine the kitchen of your mind. There are two cupboards there. Yesterday's cupboard, for all the things that have already happened that your mind wants to chew on. And tomorrow's cupboard, for all the things that you're going to do or say, or what's going to happen later. It's time to put everything away in those cupboards. Imagine closing each one. You made it to this cozy, quiet time of day where there's nothing to do but listen to me read old recipes to you until you drift off to sleep. A Book of Beverages, being recipes featured from those housewives most notable for their skill in the preparation of choice and delectable beverages for winter nights and summer noons. He that drinks his cider alone, let him catch his horse alone. Poor Richard, 1744. Worcester, Massachusetts. Printed for the Colonel Timothy Bigelow, chapter Daughters of the American Revolution, 1904. Some early American beverages. Flip. Keep grated ginger and nutmeg with a fine, dried lemon peel, rubbed together in a mortar. To make a quart of flip, put the ale on the fire to warm and beat up 3 or 4 eggs with 4 ounces of moist sugar, a teaspoonful of grated nutmeg or ginger, and a quartern of good old rum or brandy. When the ale is near to a boil, put it into one pitcher and the rum and eggs, etc., into another. Turn it from one pitcher to another until it is as smooth as cream. To heat, plunge in red-hot loggerhead or poker. Ratafia. 2 ounces of peach and apricot kernels. Blanch, put in bottle, and nearly fill with brandy. Dissolve 1/2 pound of loaf sugar in a cup of cold water, and in about a month, add to brandy after it has been strained from kernels. Strain and bottle. Lamb's wool. Heat 1 pint of good ale. Add sugar and nutmeg to taste. Lemon peel and a pinch of cloves and ginger. Put in a bowl with 3 apples roasted and sliced, and 3 pieces of toast. Serve very hot as a nightcap. To make cherry wine, 6 pounds of cherries, 3 pounds of sugar, 3 quarts of water. Your cherries being stalked, stoned, and well broke. Mix all together and put it into your cask. Let it be well shaked together every day for a week or 10 days. Then stop it up very close and let it stand a quarter of a year. Then you may bottle it. Weigh your cherries before they are stalked. Judge Sewell, 1712. Switchels. 1 teaspoonful of dry ginger, 1 cup of molasses, 1/2 cup of vinegar, 3 or 4 quarts of cold water. Rub ginger drop by drop into the molasses. Add vinegar and water. Stir well and ice. Mrs. Andrew B. Barnard. Mead. 10 gallons of water, 2 gallons of honey, 1 handful of raced ginger. Then take 2 lemons, cut them in pieces, and put them into it. Boil it very well. Keep it skimming. Let it stand all night in the same vessel you boil it in. The next morning, barrel it with the barm. About a month after you may bottle it. Orgeat. Take 6 ounces of sweet and 1 dozen bitter almonds. Pound them very fine and mix 1 quart of water with them. Strain it through a lawn sieve and put 1 gill of orange flower water into it, and it is fit for use. Sack posset. Put 3/4 of a pound of white sugar into a pint of canary wine. Strain into this the beaten whites and yolks of 15 eggs. Place over fire until scalding hot. Add 1 quart of boiling milk with a little grated nutmeg. In pouring milk into eggs and wine, hold hand very high and stir constantly. Set before fire 1/2 hour. Wedding and christening drink. Spruce beer. 3 gallons of water of blood warmth. 3 half pints of molasses. 1 tablespoonful of essence of spruce. 1 tablespoonful of ginger. 1 gill of yeast. Mix together. Let it stand overnight and bottle in the morning. It will be fit to drink in 24 hours. Old Salem receipt. Mrs. Charles H. Messery, State Regent of Massachusetts, daughter of the American Revolution. Cherry Bounce. Put the cherries, having cracked the stones, in a demijohn. Fill with whiskey and 1.5 pounds of loaf sugar to each gallon of whiskey. Let stand 3 or 4 months, shaking frequently. Sarsaparilla mead. 3 pounds of sugar, 5 gills of molasses, 4 ounces of tartaric acid, 3 pints of water, 1 ounce essence of sassafras. Heat very hot in a brass kettle, but do not boil. When cold, add essence. Old Nantucket receipt. Syllabub. Place in a large bowl a quart of strong ale or beer. Grate in a little nutmeg and sweeten with sugar. Milk the cow rapidly into the bowl and raise a good froth. Let it stand an hour and serve. Wine or cider may be used instead of ale. Caudle cup. Offered to callers on the arrival of a baby. 1 pint of thin oatmeal gruel. Yolk of 1 egg. 1 wineglass of sherry. 4 lumps of sugar. Serve hot with grated nutmeg on top. Bully Dawson's Punch. Sugar, 12 tolerable lumps. Hot water, 1 pint. Lemons, 2. The juice and peel. Old Jamaica rum, 2 gills. Brandy, 1 gill. Porter or stout, half a gill. Arrack, a slight dash. I allow myself 5 minutes to make a bowl in the foregoing proportions, carefully stirring the mixture as I furnish the ingredients until it actually foams. And then, kangaroos, how beautiful it is. Alice Morse Earle, Stagecoach and Tavern Days. 3 old family punches. 1. 1 pound of loaf sugar. 1 cup of strong English breakfast tea, hot. Thin pared rind of half a lemon. Thin pared rind of half an orange. Infuse for 3 or 4 hours. 2 wineglasses of old Medford rum. 2 wineglasses of brandy. 2 wineglasses of whiskey. Juice of 3 oranges, large. Juice of 3 lemons, large. 1 cup of chopped pineapple. 1 tumbler of claret. 1 pint bottle of maraschino cherries. 2 lumps of ice as big as one's fist. Let stand 1/2 hour or more on ice. Then add a pint of champagne the last thing before serving. Miss Louise Bigelow. 2. 4 cups of old rum. 4 cups of sugar. 4 cups of best green tea. Juice of 24 lemons. Let stand for 4 days and strain. Mrs. Linda Sullivan. 3. 1 pint of green tea, cold. Juice of 1 dozen lemons, sweetened to choice. 3 quarts of claret. 1 pint of curacao. 1/2 pint of Medford rum. 1 quart of best bourbon whiskey. 1/2 pint of French brandy. 1 pint of maraschino. Put a small bag of allspice and clove in. Let stand 3 days and add garnish of sliced orange, lemon, banana, fresh cherries stoned, and strawberries. Serve over a block of ice in a large punch bowl. A little mint bruised on the ice is often used. Old Worcester 4th of July receipt. Mulled wine. Boil the spiceries, cinnamon, nutmeg, grated, cloves and mace, in any quantity approved, in a 1/4 pint or better of water. Put this to a full pint of port, with sugar to taste. Mix it well. Serve hot with toast or rusk. Mulled cider. Heat cider, spice and sugar to taste, and thicken with a little moistened flour. Old Nantucket receipt. Syrups and fruit juices. General rule for syrups. Use only fresh fruit. Mash with a wooden instrument. Let stand 4 days at a temperature of about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Strain through a jelly bag. Add 2 cups of pounded loaf sugar to 1 cup of juice. Keep it just below boiling point in a double boiler until sugar is entirely dissolved. Skim, cool, and bottle. Blackberry, cherry, currant, grape, and raspberry may be made in this way. Sarsaparilla syrup. 10 drops of oil of anise. 20 drops of oil of wintergreen. 20 drops of oil of sassafras. 6 ounces of brown sugar. Stir in as much sugar as will moisten the several oils, and add the whole to a simple syrup. Pineapple syrup. Cut up and pound the pineapples in a chopping tray. To 1 pound of pulp, add gradually 1 pint of sugar. Strain and add 1 pound of sugar to 1 pint of juice. Boil 20 minutes, cool and bottle. Grape juice. 2 cups of grapes, 1 cup of cold water, 2/3 of a cup of sugar. Wash and stem grapes. Add water and cook in a double boiler slowly until tender. Strain through coarse cloth overnight. Add sugar to juice. Heat at a low temperature until sugar is dissolved. Do not boil. Cool and bottle. Jim jams. 1 quart of currant juice. 1 quart of raspberry juice. Juice of 2 oranges. 1 pound of raisins. 3/4 of a cup of sugar to every quart of juice. 4 boxes of fresh fruit mashed and strained through cloth should make 1 quart of juice. Heat all until sugar is dissolved. Strain, cool, replace raisins, and bottle. Strawberry syrup. Mash and strain fresh strawberries. Make a thick syrup of 4 cups of sugar and 2 cups of water. Add 5 cups of juice. Boil 5 minutes. Skim, cool, and bottle. Chocolate syrup. 6 ounces of chocolate shaved. 2 quarts of boiling water. 7 1/2 pounds of loaf sugar. 1 ounce extract of vanilla. Boil chocolate and water 10 minutes. Add sugar and stir until entirely dissolved. Cool and add extract. Vanilla syrup. 6 drams of vanilla. 4 1/2 pints of water. 4 pounds of sugar. Reduce vanilla to a fine powder by rubbing down with a portion of the sugar. Boil 2 hours in a covered vessel. Cool, strain, and bottle. Chop suey. 4 dozen of dates, stoned. 2 dozen of figs. 1 ounce of preserved ginger. 2 ounces of pecans. 1 ounce of walnuts. Brandy to flavor. Chop fruit and nuts separately very fine. Add brandy and mix all well. Stir in 1/2 pint of simple syrup. See Riboli and Son. Shrubs and vinegars. White currant shrub. Prepare fruit as for jelly. Strain the juice. Add 2 quarts to 1 gallon of rum with 2 pounds of lump sugar. Dissolve on the fire. Strain through a cloth and bottle. Miss Ward, General Artemis Ward Homestead. Red currant shrub. Prepare the currants as for jelly, and to each pint of juice add 1 pound of sugar, 1/2 pint of brandy or whiskey, and bottle. Raspberry vinegar. 6 quarts of raspberries. 2 quarts of cider vinegar. 1 pound of sugar to each pint of liquid. Cover 2 quarts of berries with the vinegar. Let it stand 2 days in a stone jar. Strain and add 2 more quarts of berries to the liquid. Repeat on the 5th day. On the 7th, strain, add sugar, and boil until it is a rich syrup. Bottle, cork, and seal. Old Nantucket receipt. Blackberry, currant, and strawberry vinegars are made precisely like raspberry vinegar. Raspberry shrub. Add a pint of fine brandy to every 3 quarts of raspberry vinegar just before it is bottled. The original shrub. 1 pint of lemon juice, 2 pounds of white sugar, 3 pints of rum, 4 pints of water. Mix all well together and let stand 6 weeks. Cordials. Blackberry cordial. 1 quart of juice, 1 pound of sugar, several sticks of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cloves, 1 teaspoon of allspice, 1 quart of whiskey. Tie spices in a muslin bag. Boil all but whiskey. Skim, and when cool, add 1 quart of whiskey to every gallon of liquid. Ginger cordial. 4 pounds of currants, 8 ounces of ginger root, 2 ounces of bitter almonds, 1/2 ounce of sweet almonds, 3 lemons sliced, 1 gallon of whiskey, 4 pounds of loaf sugar. Mash the currants. Cut the ginger in small pieces. Crack and split the nuts. Mix and add whiskey and lemons. Let it stand 10 days. Pour liquor off carefully, add sugar, and bottle. Mint cordial. Pick leaves from the tender sprigs of the mint and put into brandy from 4 to 8 hours. If it remains too long, it will be bitter. Strain, taking care not to bruise the leaves. If not strong enough, repeat the next day with fresh mint. Make a rich, thick syrup by boiling sugar and water, removing scum, and clarifying with the beaten white of an egg. Add to liquor and bottle. Checkerberry cordial. 4 quarts of checkerberries, 4 quarts of Jamaica rum, 6 pounds of sugar, 2 quarts of water. Put all together in a demijohn and let stand at least 3 months. Homemade wines and beers. Grape wine. 1 gallon of grape juice, 3 gallons of water, 3 pounds of brown sugar to each gallon of liquid. Use wild grapes. Extract the juice. Add water and sugar and let stand several days, stirring frequently. Strain through cloth onto cask. Let it stand a year and bottle. Henry Gleason. Blackberry wine. 1 gallon of blackberry juice, 1 gallon of cold water, 3 pounds of brown sugar to each gallon of liquid. Make precisely like grape juice. Bottle in March. Currant wine. 1 gallon of currant juice, 2 gallons of water, 3 pounds of brown sugar to each gallon of liquid. Make precisely like grape wine. Elderberry wine. 5 quarts of elderberry juice, 3 gallons of water, 12 pounds of brown sugar, 1 cake of yeast. Mix and boil until scum ceases to rise. Dissolve yeast and add to liquid when lukewarm. Let it stand 3 days and put into a cask. Bottle in March. Elder blossom wine. 3 pints of petals. 16 quarts of water. 12 pounds of sugar. Juice of 2 lemons. Whites of 2 eggs. 1 yeast cake. 4 pounds of raisins. Dry the blossoms on a sheet. Pack the pint measure with the petals only. Dissolve sugar in water and boil 5 minutes. Skim and add petals. Set aside. Dissolve yeast in lukewarm water and lemon juice. Add to liquor. Clarify by stirring in the beaten whites of the eggs. Put in earthen jar and stir daily for 9 days, stirring up the petals from the bottom. Strain into a keg, add the raisins, place in a cool spot, and allow fermentation through the bung. After 6 months, draw off carefully and bottle. Ginger beer. 2 gallons of boiling water. 1/4 pound of cream of tartar. 1 ounce of green ginger. Juice of 2 lemons. 2 pounds of loaf sugar. 2 tablespoonfuls of yeast. Pour the water on the other ingredients but the yeast and let it stand 6 hours. Add yeast and let it stand 6 hours more. Strain through a cloth and bottle. Stone bottles are preferable. Tie down corks and use after 24 hours. Root beer. 3 pounds of burdock root or 1 ounce essence of sassafras. 1/2 pound of hops. 1 pint of corn, roasted brown. Boil in 6 gallons of water until strength of materials is obtained. Strain while hot into a keg, adding enough water to make 10 gallons. When nearly cold, add molasses or syrup to taste. Add also as much fresh yeast as will raise a batch of 8 loaves of bread. Place the keg in a cellar or other cool place, and it will be ready for use in 48 hours. Sodas and iced drinks. General directions. Any drink made at a soda fountain may be made with equal ease at home. It will lose none of its attractiveness in being accompanied by quiet, comfort, and nicety of service. For effervescing drinks, soda in siphons should be used. It is the same as that used in fountains. It is distilled water, charged. Seltzer, Vichy, and Apollinaris are mineral waters and combine well with certain acids and flavors. For sparkling drinks, bottled soda should be used. Flavoring may be made from mashed and sweetened fruit in season or the fruit juices and syrups for which recipes are given. See pages 8 through 10. Some cordials, pages 13-14, may also be used with success. Quantities used will vary according to personal taste. In general, the following proportions may be followed. For plain sodas, 1/3 glass of fruit juice or syrup to 2/3 glass of soda. For cream or ice cream sodas, 1/4 glass of fruit juice or syrup and 1/4 glass of cream or ice cream to 1/2 glass of soda. For phosphates, 1/3 glass of syrup, 1/2 teaspoonful of acid phosphate to 2/3 glass of soda. Grape juice, raspberry, and other vinegars and gym jams may be diluted with ice water or bottled soda to taste. For ice drinks, a glass juice extractor a wooden mash, and an ice shaver will be found useful, but household substitutes may be employed. A metal shaker is, however, a necessity, as the same degree of cold can be obtained with no other utensil. A simple and inexpensive metal tumbler fitting over a tall glass may be used, or a shaker with a strainer on top. Soda cocktail. 1 teaspoonful of sugar, 1 slice of orange, 1/2 teaspoonful of bitters, 1 bottle of lemon soda. Put several small lumps of ice in the glass. Add soda last, taking care that it does not effervesce over the glass. Sauterne cup. 1 quart bottle of Sauterne, 2 bottles of soda water, 1 wineglass of brandy, 1 wineglass of curacao, juice of 1 lemon, slices of cucumber peel. Mix well, ice, and serve. Orange egg phosphate. Juice of 1 orange sweetened. 1 egg broken into glass. 1/2 teaspoonful of phosphate. Fill glass nearly full with soda. Shake all thoroughly together. Sprinkle on nutmeg and serve with straws. Walnut chocolate. 3 tablespoonfuls of chocolate ice cream, 6 English walnuts. Grate in the walnuts and fill the glass with soda. Chocolate syrup and ice cream may be used instead of chocolate ice cream. Frosted mint. 2 teaspoonfuls of mint cordial or creme de menthe. Fill with shaved ice and siphon or bottled soda. Mint sangaree. 4 tablespoonfuls of grape juice, a small bunch of fresh mint. Mash to a pulp 2 or 3 sprays of the mint. Place in glass 2/3 full of shaved ice and fill with Vichy or seltzer. Shake well and serve with a bouquet of mint at the top of the glass. Dog day drink. Lemon ice or lemon sherbet. 1 bottle of soda water. Fill glass 1/3 full of sherbet and add soda water. Knickerbocker. 1/2 a lemon or lime, juice, and rind. 2 teaspoonfuls of raspberry syrup. 1/2 teaspoonful of curacao. Shake well with shaved ice and serve. A simple eggnog. 2 teaspoonfuls of sugar. 1 egg. 1/2 wineglass of sherry or whiskey. Fill the glass with rich milk. Shake well and serve with grated nutmeg on top. Claret cup. 2 wine glasses of claret. 1/2 wineglass of water. 1 teaspoonful of fine sugar. 1/4 teaspoonful of cinnamon, cloves, and allspice. 1 piece of lemon peel. Stir thoroughly and ice. Cider nog. 4 eggs. 2 tablespoonfuls of pulverized sugar. 1 quart of cider. Beat eggs and sugar to a foam. Add cider slowly and a little ginger or nutmeg. Orangeade. 8 oranges. Several lumps of sugar. 1/2 pint of water. 1 lemon. Extract juice from oranges and lemon. Rub off rind of 4 oranges and lemon on the lumps of sugar. Throw skins into water. Let stand. Press out the skins and add this water to the other juice. Stir in sugar. Egg lemonade. 3 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, grated rind of 1 and juice of 2 lemons, 2 eggs, 1 saltspoonful of bicarbonate of soda. Make a thin syrup by boiling sugar and water. Add the lemon. When it is cold, whip in lightly the eggs, beaten separately, and bicarbonate of soda. Mrs. H. K. Merrifield. Ambrosia lemonade. 1 gallon of strong lemonade. 1 bottle of ambrosia. Mix and ice. The lemonade should not be too sweet. Pineapple lemonade. 1 cup of sugar. 1 cup of canned or fresh pineapple. 1 cup of water. Juice of 2 lemons. Boil the sugar and water until the syrup threads. Press out the juice of the pineapple and add it and the lemon juice to the syrup. When ready to serve, add water and sugar to taste and serve ice cold. Milk lemonade. 1½ pounds of sugar, 1 quart of boiling water, 1/4 of a pint of lemon juice, 1/4 of a pint of sherry, 2/3 of a pint of cream. Dissolve sugar in boiling water. Add lemon juice and sherry, and lastly cream. After stirring thoroughly, strain and serve with cracked ice. Lemonade. 1 quart of water, 1 pint of sugar, juice of 4 large or 6 small lemons. Boil water and sugar together 20 minutes. Cool and add juice. Soda or Apollinaris may be used in place of the boiled water. Mrs. George R. Bliss. Ginger ale and grape juice. 3 tablespoonfuls of grape juice. Fill the glass with ginger ale. Horse's neck. 1 bottle of ginger ale. 2 teaspoonfuls of sugar. Juice of 1 lemon. Cut the peel of the lemon in 1 thin, long spiral, leaving on knob of stem. Catch this on the rim of the glass. Wind remainder down the glass and fill. Half soda may be used if desired. Queen Charlotte's cocktail. 2 tablespoonfuls of raspberry syrup. 1 bottle of lemon soda. 1 cupful of cracked ice. Shake well and serve in 6 glasses. Grape fruit juice cocktail. 2/3 cup of grapefruit juice. 1/3 cup of sherry. 1 tablespoonful of rum. Shake with 1 cup of fine ice and strain into 6 small glasses. Cider nectar. 2 wineglasses of cider. 1 wineglass of mineral water. 1/4 wineglass of sherry. 1/2 teaspoonful of lemon juice. 1 tablespoonful of sugar. Twist of lemon peel. Stir well, trim with fruits, and flavor with nutmeg. Ginger ale julep. 1 cup of sugar. Juice of 6 large lemons. 1/2 dozen long stalks of mint. 1 cup of pounded ice. 2 bottles of ginger ale. Dissolve sugar and lemon juice. Put in pitcher. Bruise lower leaves of mint stalks. Add mint and ice. Shake well and add ginger. Old Louisville eggnog. 6 eggs. 1½ pounds of sugar, 2 pints of bourbon whiskey, 2 gills of Jamaica rum, 1 quart of whipped cream, 1 pint of cream, 1 pint of vanilla ice cream, grated nutmeg. Beat eggs separately, leaving out the whites of 3. Add sugar and beat stiff with a silver spoon. Add whiskey, rum, whipped cream, and nutmeg. Beat the remaining whites of the 3 eggs and put on top of the mixture. Stand in a cool place overnight and add cream next morning. The ice cream may be added just before serving. Mrs. George D. Moore. Mint julep. Cover a bunch of fresh mint with equal parts brandy and whiskey. Let stand for 4 hours. Fill a silver pitcher with cracked ice. Pour on the whiskey and brandy with a little water. When the frost gathers, it is ready to use. Put several sprigs of mint in a glass and pack with cracked ice. A sprig should project. Sprinkle with powdered sugar and fill from the pitcher. Glasgow flip. 1 egg well beaten. Juice of 1 lemon. 2 tablespoonfuls of sugar. Fill the glass with ginger ale and mix. El Dorado. 12 lemons. 18 oranges. 3 bottles of ginger ale. 3 bottles of Apollinaris water. Sugar to taste. Serve over large block of ice, adding water if desired. Adela Prentice Hughes. Sherry cobbler. 30 pieces of loaf sugar. 5 lemons. 4 oranges. Sherry. Squeeze 4 lemons and 2 oranges with pulp in separate glasses. Dissolve sugar in water and put in a bowl. Add lemon with a little of the rind. Stir and add orange. Trickle the sherry in, stirring constantly. Fill with shaved ice and 1 lemon and 2 oranges cut in slices. Punches. Fruit punch. 1/2 dozen juicy oranges. 1 can of sliced pineapple. 1 quart bottle of maraschino cherries. 4 dozen lemons. Sugar to taste. This may be made up to 5 gallons with water, or 1/2 water and 1/2 Apollinaris. 1/3 Rhine wine for light color, or 1/3 claret for dark color may also be used. Cornelia Cole Fairbanks, President General of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Roman punch. 1 gallon of water, 3 pounds of loaf sugar, 1 pint of Jamaica rum, 1 pint of brandy, juice of 6 lemons. Milk punch. 1 glass of half milk and half cream. 1 tablespoonful of rum or brandy. Sweeten to taste. Shake well and serve with grated nutmeg on top. Apple punch. Lay in a china bowl alternate layers of sliced apples and lemons, each layer being thickly strewn with powdered sugar. When the bowl is half full, pour over a bottle of claret. Cover and let stand 6 hours. Strain through cloth, ice, dilute with water or Apollinaris, and serve. Claret tea punch. Juice of 4 lemons. 2 cups of strong English breakfast tea. 1/2 cup of sugar. 4 tablespoonfuls of curacao or maraschino, 3 quarts of claret for 25 persons. Canton punch, 4 cups of water, 1½ cups of sugar, 1/2 cup of crystallized ginger, 3/4 cup of lemon juice, 3/4 cup of orange juice, 1 quart of Apollinaris. Boil water, sugar, and ginger 20 minutes. Strain and add juices, and when ready to serve, the Apollinaris. Mrs. William Trowbridge Forbes. Currant punch, 2 cups of currant jelly, 1 cup of sugar, 3 quarts of water, 3 lemons sliced, 3 oranges sliced. Boil jelly, sugar, and water for 5 minutes. Strain, and when cool, add fruit and ice for 20 persons. Grape punch, 6 lemons, 2 quarts of water, 1 pint of grape juice, 1 wineglass of sherry, sweetened to taste. Apollinaris may be used instead of water, in which case omit the sherry. Veranda tea, 2 quarts of fresh weak tea, 1 pound of loaf sugar, juice of 8 lemons, 3 oranges peeled and cut in slices, 1 small pineapple shredded, 3 bananas sliced thin, berries or Malaga grapes in season. Let stand till blended, ice, and serve. Old Colonial, 9 lemons, 12 limes, 3 oranges, 1 pineapple, 18 teaspoonfuls of sugar. Grate peel of lemons, limes, and oranges. Remove the white and slice the fruit. Pour on 1 quart of boiling water. Stand in ice chest 24 hours. Strain, and when ready to serve, add 1 quart of shaved ice, 1 quart of Apollinaris or claret, 1 quart of maraschino and mint cherries, and half the pineapple in cubes. Berries may be used instead of the cherries in season. Champagne fruit punch, 2 quarts of champagne, 1 pint of soda or Apollinaris, 1/2 cup of yellow chartreuse, 1/2 cup of brandy. Mix champagne and Apollinaris 2 or 3 hours before serving, adding a large piece of ice. When about to serve, add chartreuse and brandy and sliced fruits and berries, or brandied and mint cherries, for 20 persons. Planter's punch, 1 of sour, lime juice, 2 of sweet, guava jelly, 3 of strong, Jamaica rum, 4 of weak, water. Dissolve jelly in boiling water. Use dessert spoon in measuring. Ice and serve with straw. General Israel Putnam punch, 3 dozen lemons, 18 oranges, 3 pounds of sugar. Add the water to the sugar, bring to boiling point. Add the juice of the lemons and oranges and the grated rinds of 6 of each. Boil down to a thick syrup. Strain and bottle hot. In serving, use 1/3 syrup to 2/3 water. Mrs. Charles H. Masery. Maraschino punch. Add 2 of the above. 2 sliced tangerine oranges, 1 banana sliced, 1/4 pineapple sliced, 30 Malaga grapes, halved, 2 pint bottles of maraschino cherries, fruit and liquor. Boston Punch. Half a cup of freshly made tea. Juice of 3 lemons. Juice of 3 oranges. 1 cup of grape juice. 1 cup of grated pineapple. Syrup made with 2 cups of sugar. Cook pineapple in 1 pint of water 15 minutes. Strain through cloth and add the remaining ingredients with 2 1/2 quarts of ice water. Ice and serve. This has an attractive violet color and may be served with a mound of whipped cream on a large block of ice in the punch bowl, in which violets may have been inserted. A single violet may be added to each cup. Mulled wines. Mulled claret and egg. 1 tablespoonful of powdered sugar. 1/2 teaspoonful of lemon juice. 1/2 teaspoonful of fine allspice. 1 teaspoonful of cinnamon. 1/2 teaspoonful of cloves. 1 3/4 glass of claret. Boil and pour slowly over yolks of 2 eggs, beaten up with a little white sugar, mixing all the time. Serve with nutmeg on top. Mulled sherry. 1 cup of boiling water. 1 tablespoonful of broken stick cinnamon. 1 dozen cloves. 1/2 dozen cassia buds. Boil these 1 minute. Beat 4 eggs and 1/2 cup of sugar until light and add gradually, stirring constantly. Add 1 cup of hot sherry and serve. Virginia nightcap. Boil 1 quart of cider, 1 teaspoonful of whole allspice, 1/2 teaspoonful of cassia buds for 3 minutes, and add 3 eggs thoroughly beaten. Serve hot. Applejack. Put a teaspoonful of the pulp of hot roasted apples in the glass. Partially fill with fresh boiling water. Flavor with applejack to taste and grate nutmeg on top. Sweeten to taste. Tom and Jerry. 12 fresh eggs. 1 wineglass of Jamaica rum. 1 teaspoonful of ground cinnamon. 1/2 teaspoonful of ground cloves. 1/2 teaspoonful of ground allspice. Beat the whites of the eggs to a stiff froth and the yolks until they are thin as water. Mix together and add spice and rum. Stir thoroughly and thicken with fine sugar until the mixture is like a light batter. To serve, 1 tablespoonful of the mixture, 1 wineglass of brandy. Fill up the glass with boiling milk or water. Pour from 1 glass to another. Grate nutmeg on top. Coffees. Cuban coffee. 3 pints of milk. 1 cupful of ground coffee. Put the milk into coffee pot and let it boil. When boiling, add the coffee and boil 5 minutes. Strain and serve. Turkish coffee. 8 coffee cups of cold water. 8 teaspoonfuls of sugar. 12 teaspoonfuls of ground mocha. Boil the water, add the sugar and mocha. Stir it. When it bubbles, take it off. Do this 3 times, then let it settle and serve. Chocolat Café. To 1 quart of chocolate, add 1 cup of strong coffee. For the indisposed. Wine whey. 1 cup of fresh milk. 1 wineglass of sherry. Bring milk to a boil. Add sherry and boil up once. Strain off the whey. Sweeten if desired. Apple water. 1 large sour apple. 1/2 cup boiling water, lemon juice and sugar to taste. Core and bake apple with sugar. Mash. Add water and let stand 20 minutes. Strain through cheesecloth. Add lemon juice and sugar. Barley water. 1 tablespoonful of pearl barley. 2 or 3 lumps of sugar. Juice of 1/2 of a lemon. 1 pint of boiling water. Wash the barley. Add sugar, lemon, and water, and let it stand on the back of the stove 3 hours. Strain and cool. Currant water. Add currant jelly to boiling water to taste. Chill and serve with cross slice of orange cut in quarters. Lime water and milk. Equal parts lime water and milk. May be served iced if desired. Ginger tea. 1/2 cup of milk. 1/2 cup of boiling water. 1/2 teaspoonful of ginger. 1 tablespoonful of molasses. Mix molasses and ginger. Add the water gradually and boil 1 minute. Add milk and serve very hot or iced. Iced cocoa. 2/3 glass of cocoa. 1/3 glass of rich milk. Ice and serve. Sweet dreams.